Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a follow-up to my Kobo versus Kindle video. I have had so many questions from you guys in the comments, and I thought it would just be easier for me to talk about it further than trying to stick long answers in comment sections. So let's get started. Let's start with the elephant in the room. The change to Amazon's download and save to USB function. That is going away on February 26th. And knowing Amazon, that probably means it's going away at like 11:59 p.m. on February 25th. So if you don't know, right now, if you were to go onto your Amazon account and you go into the content and devices section, you can see all of the books you've ever bought on your account. And if you click on them, there's an option that says download and save to USB, I believe. And that allows you to download a copy of your ebook and save it to your computer, Google Drive, whatever, and for you to retain ownership of it that way. That feature is going away, which means soon the only way for you to retain your ebooks is going to be attempting to rip them off of your Kindle, which I tried this the other day and it was possible, but it was not easy because of the way that they are displayed in there. So Amazon's definitely making some moves that are questionable. It's concerning to me, but not surprising, just given their general behavior towards books as a whole. I mean, their whole goal is to continue to slash prices so that people stop purchasing their books from independent bookstores or even from, your Barnes & Nobles, Targets, Walmarts, and only shopping from them so that they can continue to erode the industry down and become the primary supplier of books. So that way, eventually, when they're the only ones left, they can jack up prices to however they want. So since that's the direction they're moving, this is not a shocking turn of events. It's just frustrating that they're even doing it. So that's a thing I wanted to mention because I have had plenty of you ask, can I move my books from my Kobo or from my Kindle over to my Kobo or another e-reader if I get one? And the answer right now is yes. And the easiest method for that is going away in a couple of days. And after that, it's maybe. Again, right now it's possible to take them off of your Kindle physically, but it's not an easy process. So I don't know. We'll see. The next question I get a ton is, am I a Kobo Plus subscriber? And if so, how am I liking the subscription? Right now, I am not a Kobo Plus subscriber. That might change in the future. So if you're not familiar, Kobo Plus has 3 different tiers. There is the audio only, the ebook only, and then the audio and ebook method. The audio and only and ebook only methods are $7.99 a month. And then if you do ebook and audio, it's $9.99 a month. All 3 tiers right now, much cheaper than Kindle Unlimited, which I believe is $11.99 a month. And does not include audiobooks as a whole. Like, there's not a intentional audiobook subscription there because Kindle Unlimited is owned by Amazon. Amazon owns Audible, and they would rather you be on the $15 a month to get 1 credit plan that Audible does. There are some Kindle Unlimited books that do have Audible exclusive audiobooks that are also included in Kindle Unlimited. That was such a loaded thing to say. But I've only ever gotten to experience those by downloading the ebook from Kindle Unlimited, and then the audio becomes available to me. Like, I've never been able to just go grab those as an audiobook and download them, even though they're included in Kindle Unlimited. So I like that Kobo has a very straightforward, if you prefer audio only, here's an option. Ebook only, here's an option. The reason I haven't is because right now I'm still paying for my Kindle Unlimited subscription. I say paying for. I bought like a 6-month essentially gift of Kindle Unlimited and just gifted it to myself instead of emailing it to somebody else to get it for a slightly cheaper price. And that ends in April, I believe. I need to check my expiration date on that. And the other reason is because Amazon is the way they are and that the indies who publish their books there are locked into their ecosystem. A lot of the people that I would be looking for are just not going to be available on Kobo Plus because Amazon has them in a chokehold and it has them down to 1 stream of income, essentially. And so there's not a way for me to get those books over there. Now, I have seen some authors moving certain titles over, like, kind of slowly, but not like with like a full commitment. And the really popular author that's on there right now is an author that I personally do not enjoy and will not read from. So at the moment, there's not really a reason for me to, but it's not to say I wouldn't try it in the future because I love the concept of it. But right now, the things I'd be looking for just either wouldn't be on there in general because they're traditionally published, and a lot of times traditional publishers do not participate in those subscriptions unless a author has like a book coming out and they want to get their previous books in front of as many people as possible to like kind of boost sales for the new one, but it's not like consistently there. And then the other thing is because most of the authors I would be looking for in a subscription-based system are locked into the Amazon one. So unfortunate but true. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was the MetaPen that I use with my Kobo. I did not order the Kobo pen, number one, because I wasn't sure I was going to use it. Number two, because it was like $100 and I was like, this feels like a lot for what this is. And three, I was like, that looks like the pen from the Microsoft Surface. And sure enough, it's basically the same thing. Now, Kobo has rewired theirs so that the eraser erases on theirs, and then you press the button to highlight. It is inverted if you use a MetaPen. So the eraser at the top of the MetaPen will highlight, and if you want to erase, you have to press the button and scribble to erase. Annoying, but whatever. Because the MetaPen was just so much cheaper, I would rather that inconvenience, I guess, than paying full price for the Kobo pen. I will link down in the description below which MetaPen I got. I think it's the MetaPen 2. The current, like, newest MetaPen is the same cost as the Kobo one, and it still has the inverted problem. So I'm like, if you're going to spend that much money, you may as well just get the one from Kobo. I will say, I feel like the writing on it is the same. Like, I don't feel like the Kobo can tell that I'm using a MetaPen versus the Rakuten one. I feel like the way I'm writing shows up in the same way I've seen from examples for people who do have the Rakuten Kobo the Rakuten Kobo stylus. So I don't feel like there is a difference in that in the way you would see with, like, say on an iPad with like an Apple Pencil versus a knockoff Apple Pencil. Like, those you can always tell are not the real deal. But with this, because it uses e-ink and that's already so limited, like, I think would be hard for them to make that off-putting to kind of push you one way or the other. And just from what I've seen from Michael, the CEO on Threads, like, he very much does not seem like the kind of guy to intentionally make something like that harder. I understand that all of it's capitalism, right? Like, I'm not showboating for him or anything, but I just mean, like, just the general vibe is like, people are going to do what they want to do. We're just here to make the product and hope people like it and buy it. So that's that on the MetaPen. And then I also get a lot of questions about the cases that I have. So the clear case I have on there, I ordered off of Amazon. It was one of, like, the last few things I ordered. And it was because I needed it basically immediately, and no one nearby sold Kobo cases. And I will link that below. It was like $9. And I like it well enough. The MetaPen does magnetically connect to it on the outside. Not super well as it does if you connect it directly to the Kobo, but it does work. The other case I have is from Page the Shop, which was one of my favorite shops to order from when I was using my Kindle. I have loved all of the cases from them. The only downside is that their Kobo case does not make space for the MetaPen or any of the pens. So I would have to, like, carry it separately, which is not something I'm super hype on. So I am looking for a similar style folio case that has a slot for the pen that doesn't cost as much as the one from Kobo, and also just has more color options because they only have two, and I just don't really love either of the two. So keeping my options open, keeping my eyes peeled. But since I mostly read it at home right now, having just that clear case on it is getting the job done for me. The next thing I get asked a lot is about ARC reading on your Kobo. How easy is it to get books from NetGalley, or if you read for indie authors, like BookFunnel? BookFunnel is very easy. They give you directions when you're downloading the book, just like you do for the Kindle. It's literally all on the same page. You just have to pay attention to the fact that it says Kobo at the top. And it gives you an option to either do it through the web browser on your Kobo from the beta features, or to connect it to your computer and do it that way. But it gives you options for both. I literally just did it for, I was ARC reading Slapshot by Chelsea Curto, and I had the book on my Kobo in like 30 seconds. It was great. So that one's really easy. Now with NetGalley, they've decided that they're no longer using the ACSM file format, which was Adobe, I forget what the thing was, but it was an Adobe signature kind of thing to help with DRM for PDFs to keep them protected. And NetGalley has stopped using that on their own app, I guess, for a couple of years, but we're still using it as an option for publishers to send their NetGalley's out with and have suddenly decided to stop. And it's very frustrating for me because I feel like we had no warning. And they're saying, well, Kobo knew this was coming. And I'm like, sure, maybe, but the publishers didn't seem to know it was coming because I replied to a couple of emails that I got where people were like, oh, here's a widget. Like, I would love for you to read this book by this author. And I replied back saying, hey, have you heard about NetGalley getting rid of ACSM? You know, what should I do? I don't want to read on my computer screen because NetGalley, if you talk to their supports, like, we use the NetGalley app on like your phone or something. I'm like, I don't want to read on my phone. That's why I have an e-reader. And their other option is a app on your computer, and like, absolutely not happening. And each publisher I talked to was like surprised by the fact that that had gone away. So I don't think that they openly talked about it as much as they're claiming they did. The other thing that's frustrating for me is a few years ago when the .mobi function went away on NetGalley, I swear they were so annoying about it. And we're like, you're going to have to choose EPUB. Make sure you're choosing EPUB. That had no effect on Kindle users. And they made a big stink about it like for weeks. And I got so annoyed and I was like, I get it. I don't need to download .mobi. I need to use .epub. That's fine. I can do that. But why wouldn't you do the same thing about ACSM going away? Like, why be secretive about it? And they're just being kind of shitty about it. Kobo says that they're working on making the, I think it's LCPL is the new format, available on their devices, but that has been kind of on their feature list for a long time. So I don't know how fast or slow that's going to come. So at the moment, what I've had to do is keep my Paperwhite, which actually a few weeks ago I was going to sell and then decided not to after seeing this change with NetGalley, because now what I have to do is use the Send to Kindle version, plug my Kindle into my computer, take the Galley off of that, and then put it on my Kobo, which is frustrating and annoying, but it is what it is. And so that's what I've been doing. I have seen some people say they've gotten workarounds with the Kindle for PC and Kindle for Mac apps, and being able to use that even though they don't have a Kindle anymore, and using that with the Calibre app. I have not tried that. I shouldn't say that. I tried once. It did not work, and I did not care to try to figure it out because I still have my Kindle, and I knew that I could just kind of piecemeal it together from that. And so that's what I've just continued to do. But if something happens to my Kindle, I will have to then search for that method. So all that to say, it's not fun getting your NetGalley ARCs on your Kobo right now. It's just not. And the reaction I've gotten from NetGalley, in addition to just using our app, is, hey, why don't you get a Kindle? And I'm like, that's a shitty thing to say to somebody. That's not, what an odd thing to say to somebody who's telling you they use another e-reader. Because here's the other thing. It's not just Kobo that got kind of kicked out of this. Nook users did too, and I know that like Nook is not a super popular device, but it's popular enough. I mean, it's sold by Barnes & Noble, so plenty of people have them. And they also don't have LCPL, I think, as a format type function on their devices, so they don't have it either. So it's not even like just one area was targeted. Like, this feels kind of icky. And that paired with Amazon getting rid of their download to USB function just feels, I don't want to call it conspiratorial because I feel like that would be giving NetGalley too much credit, if I'm being very honest. It just feels gross to me. It just does. And I think with the industry knowing good and damn well that people are moving away from Amazon as a part of their lives, you would think that it wouldn't be as difficult of a deal for people to get what they need, but it's becoming that way, and I don't love it. I don't love it. So the last thing that I have gotten questions about is being able to display the clock while you're reading. That is a feature I would love for it to become native on Kobo, and for it to just be like a toggle on and off option. And right now it is not. There is a mod that you can download that takes a literal 4 seconds to get on your device, and it does not require very much work. It is called Nickel Clock. I will leave that down in the description below. Essentially, you grab the file, you plug your Kobo into your computer, you put it in a specific subfolder on your Kobo, and that's literally it. And it just shows up on your book. The only downside I see to it right now is because of the way they've coded it, it flashes on the screen sometimes, which is a little annoying. But I think I would rather have the screen flashing than no clock at all. There are a couple of alternative ones called Nano Clock and Mini Clock. Mini Clock looks like it's from like 20 years ago, I think literally. And then Nano Clock, I didn't like the amount of work that would have had to take if I wanted to uninstall it. Because that was the other thing I looked at. Is like, if I decide I don't like this, like how easy is it to get it back off the device? And so far, Nickel Clock is the only one that is very easy to put on and off of the device. So that's the one I'm going to stick with at this point. And yeah, I guess we'll see. This is my plea to Kobo to please put the time on the reader while I'm in the midst of a book, because time management is a struggle when your book is good, and I need to know what time it is. I need to know. So that is all I have for you guys today. If there are any things that you wish I had covered between the first video and this one, or that you would like more detail on, let me know. I'm also going to leave links to my friend Rachel's channel below. She has 2 Kobo videos that I think are really helpful. One being how you get your books off of your Kindle onto your Kobo and using the Calibre app and like kind of going into more detail about it. The other one that she just posted is about how to get multiple library cards on your Kobo using your Overdrive account sign-in instead of signing in with the library card initially. I did this the other night, and I only did it with 2 of my 4 cards because they're the 2 that I primarily use, and it worked fairly seamlessly, which was really nice. So I will leave that down below as well. And with that being said, I will see you guys in another video soon.